Hi, my name is Jama Anderson, and I'm Blount County Schools kindergarten through fifth grade math instructional coach. And so I'm here today to talk with you about your child's iReady results and what they mean. So you are probably asking yourself, what is iReady? I need to understand a little bit more about it. So iReady is an online program that we use on our Chromebooks or iPads for reading and for math that will help your child's teacher determine what he or she needs, personalize their learning, and monitor their progress throughout the school year. It allows your teacher to meet your student exactly where they are at this time in the school year and provides data to increase your students' learning gains. iReady consists of two parts. That is the diagnostic, which your child has already taken the first one, and that's the results that we're going to be talking about today and how to read those, and then personalized instruction that I'll talk about just a little bit later. When and how is iReady used? We, as a district in Blount County Schools, use this screener to identify strengths and improvements that your child needs to progress in reading and in math. It allows students, parents, and teachers, all of us together, to monitor growth throughout the academic school year. It's given 3 times, what we call the beginning of the school year, which your child has already taken, the middle of the school year, and the end of the school year. So your child's teacher will be letting you know when our next diagnostic will happen the middle of the school year and preparing your child as well, and we'll give you specific dates. So, what does my child's report mean? So, I'm going to give you an in depth look of what a report looks like, what it means, how to explain it to your child, and also you as a parent, how you can understand it. So, we're going to look at a math report first. This is a demo report, so it is totally made up. But this diagnostic test result belongs to Brian Irwin, and he's in second grade. It does not matter what grade your child is in. All the reports look exactly the same. Everything means the same. So it's okay that we're looking at a second grade because your child's report will, no matter what grade, will look the same. So when I go into a classroom, and I've gone into many classrooms and done what is called a data chat, and so I'm kind of going to go through what I go through with the kids, because it is amazing the understanding that our students have after they understand where they are. Because in order for our kids to grow, they have to know where they are so that they can figure out what they need to do to get better, what they need to do to improve. And it's important for you as parents to understand that as well so you can support your child. So I'm going to start first of all here with these 3 colors. There are 3 colors that your child might see on their report. The reason I say might is because it depends on how they did on the diagnostic test. The first color that your child might see is the color green. If your child sees the color green, it means they are, and this is how I explain it to them, they are exactly where they need to be in math in order to be able to understand what is being taught in their grade level. For us as adults, parents, and educators, it means on grade level. If we see a yellow dot, so again, it depends on how your child did. You may have a child that has all green dots. You may have a child that has all yellow dots. You may have a child that has all red dots, or a mixture, kind of like what Brian has. So if your child sees a yellow dot, it means that, this is how I explain it to them, that they need a little bit of practice because they're not quite where they need to be yet, but we're going to work hard to get there. And that's to get to that green dot. For us as educators, as parents, a yellow dot means that they are one grade level below their current grade level. If your child sees a red dot, now kindergarten parents, let me tell you, your kids will not have a red dot. Red dot means for us as adults that your child scored in that area of math 2 grade levels below. a kindergartner cannot be 2 grade levels below. So a red dot for our first graders through fifth graders, this is how I explain it to them, simply means you need a little bit more practice. It is okay if your child, it's okay, kids, if you see that you have a red dot. It does not mean bad. That's the first thing that pops into their mind, that, oh no, I have a red dot. That's not what red means. Red means that you're not quite where you need to be yet, and you need some more work. And you're going to do that work to help change that red to yellow, or change that yellow to green, or to get your yellows or greens or reds to just grow. It may still be the same color, but to improve. And I'll talk about that just a little bit more in a little bit. So, green means exactly where you need to be, or on or above grade level. Yellow means 1 grade level below or needing a little bit of practice. And red means needing a little bit more practice, or 2 or more grade levels below. Now let's take a look over here at where we have these sections. These sections, just to give you what I tell the kids, are called mathy words. These are called domains. And all it means is that the math that we do in kindergarten through fifth grade is divided up into 4 parts. So I want to go over those 4 parts with you, so that you understand what those domains mean, and possibly what it is that your child needs to work on. You may even say, oh yeah, yep, my child doesn't know their multiplication facts yet, and they're in fifth grade, or yes, we need to work on those addition facts. You already might have a clue what it is that your child needs. So let's start with number and operations. Number and operations is what we know as arithmetic. It is knowing how to add, how to subtract, multiply, and divide. So we can see here that Brian scored a yellow dot. And hopefully in Brian's mind, he's thinking, okay, yellow dot, I'm knowing beginning of the school year, that's pretty good because I'm just now starting second grade. But I'm hoping that Brian is thinking, ooh, next time, I hope I get a green dot. So that's our kids understanding where they are, so they can create goals of what they want to do. Algebra and algebraic thinking, it is understanding number patterns, and it is understanding when they need to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So number and operations is knowing how to do that. Algebra and algebraic thinking is knowing when to do that. And we can see here, this is telling me as a teacher, maybe telling you as a parent that, okay, yes, my child can add and subtract, but my child doesn't yet know when she needs to add or subtract. Measurement and data is what you would think when you hear the word measurement. So it is our kids knowing how to use a ruler, how to tell time, how to count money. It is being able to read a chart or a graph. For our upper grades, it is understanding area and surface area and perimeter, and also being able to just look at data and understand it. So we can see here that Brian is 1 grade level below, needs a little bit of practice in that. Geometry is shapes, understanding number of sides, understanding angles. And here, he's exactly where he needs to be. He is on grade level in geometry. So I want to share with you also what reading looks like with those domains. So I'm going to switch over to reading here. Still the same student, still Brian, still the same colors, but now we have our domains for reading. So I'm going to go over those with you. I'm going to have to pull my notes out for this one because I am not as familiar with reading since I am only with math. But the report is still the same as it is for math. So let's look at phonological awareness. That is understanding that a spoken word is made up of different parts. For example, With bat, we can understand that it has the B, the B, and the A, and the T. So sorry, reading teachers, if you're listening to this and I did that totally wrong, sorry. But that is understanding that a spoken word is made up of different parts. So we can see here that he has green, so he is exactly where he needs to be. Phonics. Phonics is understanding that when a child, they can connect the sounds that they hear in spoken words with the letters they see in written words. So basically, it's sounding out a word and being able to say it. Again, we can see here that Brian is green. And high frequency words. These are words that your child sees all the time and that your child will just know, doesn't have to sound out. So, for example, the word the, they can look at that and not have to sound it out, or the word R, A-R-E, and know that that is the word R and not have to sound it out. Notice here we have some little asterisks. Your child may have a color dot and may have the grade level with it. Your child may also have on this tested out or max score. So let me go over those with you if you see that on your child's paper. If you see tested out, it means that your child did not need to see any questions about phonological awareness. And that because they were answering questions that showed the testing platform, no, they don't need to see this. So you'll see tested out. If you see max score, it means that your child saw some questions either in phonological awareness, phonics, or high frequency words, but reached the maximum score. And so then throughout the test, did not see any other questions that went along with those three. We can only see tested out and max score on these three domains right here. So I wanted to be sure that you understood that. So let's go down here to vocabulary. So vocabulary is the name for the words and the child knowing what that word means. So again, we see here, again, grade 1 on the first test because Brian just left first grade. That's great. Okay. Comprehension literature. So we see here he's 2 grade levels below. He needs a little bit more practice, and that's okay. This domain is a student's ability to understand what he's read in literature. Literature is fiction, stories that are made up, and poems and plays. Comprehension informational text. Here he has a yellow dot, just a little bit of practice, 1 grade level below. This just means that understanding what has been read, but it is reading things that are true, things that are nonfiction. So that is informational text. So I wanted to be sure that you understood the domains in both reading and in math. So I'm going to go back to math, back to the first diagnostic. So we're back with Brian. And I wanted, now that we understand our colors and our domains in both, I wanted to share with you, and you have your overall. That's when you put all of the domains together, you get an overall score. So here, when we put all of these colors together, he is 1 grade level below, which again, just started second grade. So if I'm seeing this, okay, we're good. We're going to grow and do what we need to do to grow. And here, this number, and we can also see this number down here. This is called a scale score. What you need to know, and what I share with kids and with teachers about a scale score, is that next time we want to see this number bigger. We want it to go up. And what we call it in education is we want it to grow. So here we can see that Brian is starting at 408. You can look and see where your child is starting on the diagnostic 1. Your child has a blue bar on their paper. This blue bar represents your child. And what we want to see is the same thing as this number, as this scale score. We want to see the blue bar grow. We want to see it get bigger. And there are a couple of goals that we want to try to get our kids to as we progress through the year. You see these lines, we have a dark line, we have a dotted line, and we have a green line. Your child right now should not be at the dark black line or at the dotted black line because these are goals. These are what we are trying to reach either by the second diagnostic or the third at the end of the school year. So let's talk about this dark solid line here. This is called a typical growth goal. This, and you can see over at the side, this is the average growth for a student at this grade and at this placement. So this is average growth for a student that scores 408 for Brian. Your child may be different. So we would like to see by the end of the school year, Brian try to get to this dark line. And I can tell you when your kids understand this, they are already thinking, ooh, I hope next test I can get to that dark black line. I want to try to get to that line. They are thinking in their head, already creating goals. So, same thing with the dotted line. This is called a stretch goal. Here is the scale score for the stretch goal. Here is the scale score, the number that we want to try to get this change to get to the dark black line. This dotted line is called a stretch goal. It is an ambitious goal, but it is something that your child can get to. For that puts students that are below grade level, it puts them on a path to being exactly where they need to be, to being proficient. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I have seen many, many, many kids on their second test get to this dark solid line and even the dotted line. And they get so excited. I have seen kids that are over the moon just getting closer. And that's really all we want to see, is to see them getting closer to those. If they don't make it on the second test, it's okay, because this is an end of your goal. The dark green line, that represents mid grade level. So for Brian, this is mid second grade. For your child, it'll be middle of the school year, whatever grade your child is in. Why is this important? This is important because here's what we found in Blount County. For our kids in third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade, when they score in the past, when they score here mid, so this is their overall score, mid grade level, so mid third grade, fourth grade, mid fifth grade, that when it came time, when they took the iReady, or what we've known as TCAP test, they had a very, very high chance, were very likely to score on track or mastered on iReady or TCAP. And that is, of course, where we want our kids to be when they, after they take the iReady test. That is just a correlation that we have found in Blount County, and that now has been added here. And our kids understand iReady. They want to perform well on that, and this is a goal they understand that they want to try to reach. Some of your kids may already be at mid grade level. We want them to continue to grow. And the last thing I want to show you here is this green box. Some of you will see a green box that is a larger green box. Some of you may see just a little sliver of a green box. That's fine. Some of you may not see a green box at all. That's okay. But the green box just means trying to get this blue bar to grow. To get into the green box means on grade level, exactly where you need to be, somewhere inside this green box. Okay, so if you look down at the bottom of your paper, you will see those 4 domains. You will see the color dots that match exactly what's up here at the top. But now down here has been added a number, just like the number we saw up here, the scale score. And as I said earlier, what we want to have happen, what we want our kids to understand is that we want these numbers, these scale scores to get bigger. We want them to grow. So here, our kids can see exactly where they started the school year, and then they can monitor their progress, as we talked about earlier when we were looking at the slides, and can see where they have grown. They can also see where they need to grow the most. Here comes that personalized instruction that we talked about, and why it is so important that your kids do their personal best and that they do this diagnostic by themselves. What happens is when they take their diagnostic and they get their scale scores, our iReady platform then takes the two lowest domains in both reading and in math. So we can look here and see pretty quickly that Brian's two lowest here, algebra and algebraic thinking. And then also, when I look here, the next lowest domain is number and operations. Now, Brian, when he logs into iReady to do his lessons that he needs to do his personalized learning path, these are the two domains that Brian will be working in. These are the two domains that he's going to be working in to try to grow, to get closer to that grade level, closer to where he needs to be. This is called closing the gap. So, Brian, as he does these lessons, he's closing the gap. So, if Brian decides that he does not want to try, that he just wants to click and get through in 2 minutes, Brian is probably going to be seeing lessons that he already knows how to do. So it's going to be boring. He's going to say, I already know how to do this. And then if Brian scores higher in things, that, maybe got a little help on the side, got a little hint here and there, then he's seeing things that there's just no way that he knows how to do. So that's why it's so important that we stress to them, just do the best that you can. You're going to see questions that are hard. You're going to see questions that are easy. That's just how it's designed so that we can get iReady exactly where you need it to be. So let me show you same thing with reading. So I'm going to just flip back to reading. So when we go down to the bottom, again, we want that blue bar to grow. We can see that Brian is going to be working on comprehension literature in his online lesson plans. And my screen's hiding here. Oh, looks like vocabulary is going to be his other domain that he's going to be working in reading. So and I do want to show you this, and I don't ever share this with the kids, but I will share it with you when we're doing our data chats, because we talk about the importance of growth and how we want them to improve and how we want them to set goals to get better. And then I always tell them, I can't wait for you to see how Brian did on test number 2. And they're like, oh, please show me, please show me. And I'm like, no, you have to wait. But what happens when a lot of times when our kids take the second diagnostic, they've been doing their learning path, they've been getting their grade level content lessons with their teachers, then here's what we see. So I'll go ahead and show you the second diagnostic for Brian. So pay attention to the blue bar and to the colors. So look what Brian did on test number 2. Yay! He grew 25 scale score points. So we see how this number has changed. We see that his blue bar was here, but has now grown to almost that black line. And we don't want to see the kids at the black line till the end of the year. No, we do want to see them, but we don't have to see them until the end of the school year. But the kids are so excited. We see how the colors have changed here, and then also how the scale scores have gone up. And so just to show you that for reading, and then to show you, or for math, and then to show you for reading, I mean, it's so exciting. And again, to think by doing this with Brian and for him to see how much he has grown on test number 2, it is rewarding for the kids, and for the teachers as well. And it's motivation for them to continue to improve and continue to do their best always. So going back to math here. So this is what a data chat would look like. Now your child's teachers will probably do a data chat with them, to where they can set goals. They can talk about what they want to do to get better, so that they understand that when they get online to do their lessons, it shouldn't be a, oh no, I got to do iReady. It should be, oh good, I'm doing an algebraic thinking lesson. Right now, I'm working on getting my red to change to yellow or to even to green. So please reach out to your child's teacher if you have questions. They can always direct you to me if you would like to talk to me, but they are well versed in this as well, and can answer questions that you have. So thank you for your time. Please encourage your child, no matter what colors you see on this first diagnostic, because this is their starting point. This is where they are beginning the year. This is not where they're going to be at the end of the year. So thank you for your time, and have a great rest of your day. And I hope to talk to you and see you soon.